Another time about jazz recorder. Um, I play several instruments, as you can see, but I have a lot of time on my hands. Otherwise, I couldn't do it. Some advice, some tips, rule of the thumbs, whatever you want to call. Obviously, like any instruments, the recorder has pros and cons. Don't idealize your instrument, okay? No instrument is perfect. Some things sound so good on trumpet, and other things sounds better on a flute, and other things are new and fresh on the recorder. So the recorder doesn't have a tradition of jazz for several reasons. And I can understand that even the flute entered jazz, so to speak, late in the 50s. And the reason why is the sound of the flute, even the transverse flute, which is much louder than the recorder. It was not loud enough for jazz, and jazz was played in venues or outdoors and with any amplification in old times. I think they started to amplify jazz in the late 30s. So you don't have specific books or a lot of players. Okay, you don't have a tradition. The closest thing to the recorder, let's speak out, is the flute. Actually, a recorder belongs to the flute family. It's a straight flute, and the air is directed towards the edge through a windway. Okay. But in order to play jazz, first of all, a lot of practice. I mean, you have to practice a lot because the recorder has no keys. Obviously, there are good things and bad things. All other wind instrument, you need to have an embouchure, and your muscles here are strained. There is an effort which you don't have with the recorder for the most part. You can play the recorder for hours unless you play big humongous recorders where you you have to blow a lot. I speak about contrabass recorder or even sub-bass recorders. As a rule, the recorders don't need a lot of wind. The only notes where you have to a little bit to make an effort, high-pitched notes. So, but other instruments have a lot more dynamics. The recorder has a big problem with dynamics, and that's why sometimes I get carried away and I overblow or whatever, and the tune goes to the dogs, so to speak. God damn it! There's a mosquito in December, in February. Anyway, so what to do? First of all, don't play jazz recorder just because it's fancy, it's cool, it's not so common. Don't. You will never play jazz in a believable way if you don't like jazz. You need to have a strong connection with jazz. Obviously, you have your favorite genre, and there are some genres where the recorder is not so suitable. For example, Dixieland. You can play Dixieland, but always with amplification. I think the best is cool jazz and also in a way bebop, but bebop is so fast it's difficult to be that fast or record. Um, don't tell yourself, oh, I can be as fast as a flute. No, you will never be as fast as a flute or a saxophone. Oh, unless you have a recorder with keys, with a whole system of keys, and they do not exist. Recorders have their specific sound. Some recorders are more modern and have a sound that is more reminded, sounds a little bit like a flute. So if you want to be, I see, fundamentalist, you play just Baroque recorded ever their specific sound. But that sound is for Baroque music, I know, and shouldn't be for jazz. But for some reason, it's magical. I don't know, has some this trait that differentiate the recorder from the flute. And I play a lot of flute. I've been playing recently a lot of flute, so I can immediately tell. I internalize all these differences the way you play, in spite of the fact that, as I said before, they belong to the same family. And okay, so you need to listen to a lot of jazz, which shouldn't be a chore if you like jazz. And in the meantime, because there is a gap between when you start playing the recorder, you want to play jazz, and when you're actually able to play jazz, don't get discouraged. I'm learning Russian. I've been learning Russian for 15 months. Now, only now, I can see some results. Not big results, but I start to, so to speak, to sort of speak, understand some things. It takes time. Rome wasn't built in a day. So don't get discouraged. My experience in life is that sometimes knowledge and improvement runs under the ground. You don't see it, but it's there. If you put time, a lot of time into learning and practicing, you get results. Better if you know what you're doing. So I strongly suggest don't do things haphazard, because if you play haphazard, then you will have haphazard results. And I have to check the volume because I was playing. Okay, the volume is alright. I use several methods, buy methods and play them. Okay, play them. Record yourself, see, listen to yourself. Is my sound pleasant? Do I have an amateurish sound, which is perfectly alright if you're an amateur. The same goes with the languages. You're a beginner, you will never sound like a native speaker. And even after decades, you will sound almost like a native speaker. Never like a native speaker, but they're not like native speakers or over musical instruments. Yeah, maybe somebody who's starting when he was, or she was 3. But anyway, it takes time. Recorders don't have keys. And if they have keys, it's just an extension of the finger. They don't have keys that make playing in different keys easier. So remember, you are dealing with some limitations, and you have to get around those limitations, sometimes make the most of those limitations. I sometimes struggle to play faster, and it's always a danger. Okay, but anyway, don't think, oh, I will play the recorder, I will play as fast as a saxophone. No way. But this is the point. Is this your goal, to be faster, or your goal is to be expressive, to express yourself and make people, and having people like what you do. Okay. Oh, I don't say recorder can be fast. Recorder can be fast. In all keys, can you play an F sharp uh, song and be as it takes a lot of doing. That's why many times you hear people play fast. Don't get fooled. They are not improvising. They practice this a lot, a lot. Obviously, if you have a good technique, it takes less time. Okay? So one thing, if you want to play jazz, at a certain point, when you're done with your methods, play and try to practice all the keys: major, minor, harmonic, melodic, pure, and all sorts of scales. I know it's difficult. I know it takes time. Don't think that for what I can do, am I not the best recorder, jazz recorder player? Far from it. But we all go through the process of learning. There are no people who magically play the recorded jazz just because they are different for you. There are no recorder gods. Even the best you see on the web, they are classically trained. They practice a lot what you hear, because to judge a person, oh, it's very difficult to judge a person in real life. When he plays for 2 hours, there's no fooling. You can hear mistakes. You cannot erase as live. Watch people play live. Somebody pick up Sarah Jeffrey. She has some live videos where she plays for 2 hours, and there are more. They tell more about her ability, and she's a very accomplished recorder player than all the videos she does. Okay, why? In her apartment, in her studio, whatever. Because it's obvious on the web. You try to give the best image of yourself. Okay, it is normal. I don't do that. Sometimes I have a video before when I played bebop, and I don't know, I was playing the melody, the theme, and one note went. I took the other harmonic, and I played the second octave, or I don't remember. I didn't get the right note. Okay, that's me. It happens. Shit happens. That's jazz. That's not classical music. Don't think that jazz is like classical music. I mean, now it's becoming like this, but I don't like it. Jazz is like a soccer match. What does it mean? Soccer match. Footballers make mistakes all the time. That's why if you have this mentality, everything has to be hunky-dory, everything to be. Don't play jazz. Don't play jazz. Or if you play jazz with this mentality, you get a stilted version of jazz. So take risks. That doesn't mean you play in a way that doesn't make any sense. But there are moments where you forget everything about harmonic scale, harmony, and you go with the flow, because subconsciously, you know what notes are good or bad. If you get out with a wrong note, who tells what's a wrong note? If you see bebop, and you have a lot of notes that theoretically are against a harmony, but in the flow, and considering if are downbeat, upbeat, and they sound good. So reverting to my tips. My tips is, don't think that you have leeway, or they give you leeway because you play the recorder, you know the limitation of the recorder, but don't think that, and you have to live with that, but the listener doesn't know that, and you need to be able to catch the attention of the listener, because not every listener, I would say the majority of those who can hear you, don't have a positive bias towards the recorder. Most people don't have. There are some people that like but it's a niche market, it's a niche audience. The majority of people see you with a recorder and they think it's a toy. The good side, the upside, is that when you play well, they will appreciate you even more if you were playing a saxophone or a flute. But you need to be good. And good doesn't mean perfect. It means that you sound natural. That means that you have some rhythm. You express yourself through the instrument. And in order to do that, you need to know your instrument and to know jazz, and put the two things together and be confident. How does anyone get confident? You play a lot, you record yourself as you do, you make videos, and then there come a day you play a song and it will not sound like you are a fucking, sorry for the language, amateur. You're not something double with the instrument. Okay? And believe you me, that happens because I started after many years where I hardly played the recorder, starting in June 2024. Obviously, I played it in the past a lot. It was my first instrument. I started on a recorder. But considering the time, I don't think I'm a genius. But if you play every day, at least 1 hour, in order to get up to speed, in the first months I played 3 or 4 hours a day in order to get up. Then you have an even keel and you know flow. But then you decide which instrument, because some people play many instruments. I do, but never leave your instrument. I always say, okay, I have to do my stint of brass because I play brass, and you need to play every day. It's a more physical thing. So I strongly recommend listening to many jazz flutists, and starting with those that are more classical. I like a lot Bud Shank. James Moody is very technical. Even Bud Shank, but James Moody sometimes is difficult on the flute. You can imagine a recorder. But listen, James Moody, there are a lot. I'm speaking about not the new ones, those that really played from the 50s till the 70s. Frank West, Joe Newman, okay. Sam Most, Yusuf Lateef, Herbie Mann was very popular. Jerome Richardson, Hubert Laws. So why not a recorder? How many jazz recorder players are there? 5 or 6 who are up to scratch. That's the truth. Real improvisers, few. Why? Because, as I said before, it's very difficult to play in tune. It's very difficult. The finger work is very difficult. It's not appreciate it. I think there are very few people who appreciate a jazz recorder, but they appreciate it a lot. I mean, obviously, I'd like the only thing I'd like is to inspire people who play jazz record who are much better than I am. That's a great satisfaction. Somebody said, you know, when I was a child, I will be dead or very, very old. There was somebody on the internet who played all sorts, because I'm the only one who plays all sorts of standards consistently. Okay? Which is a good thing to do at the beginning. Okay? Then you became famous, you make your own, you know, version of that, you come up with the originals, if you know harmony and you play some harmonic instrument, but you have to show the recorder can play everything, and you have to show it to yourself. Obviously, at the beginning, I wouldn't start with tonally confirmation and things like that are not easy. And in order to play well, you have to know the thing. You have obviously Italian under your fingers. If you are so focused on playing the right notes or the melody, you don't have free space in your mind to play music in a musical way, because it's you're having a hard time even playing the notes. When you have all the notes and you almost have this muscle memory and everything, you can focus your attention on other things than give life to what you're doing. Because the great artists in classical music are not those who play every single note with the right tempo and right pitch and everything. That's in classical music is the bare minimum are those who give musicality. That's what you need to do. That's what I need to do, because I don't think I'm the shit. But since I'm still going through this process of learning, and I'm a simple person, I'm not the one who plays everything with extreme ease. Sometimes it looks like that, I hope, but it's not like this. Everything I do is the result of, I don't want to boast, hard work. And the best thing is when you play, it seems like, oh, he is, yeah, maybe when I play, but it's, believe you me, sometimes when I play, I cannot play to save my life. This melody, okay, this. I don't pretend to be better than I am. Okay. But so do your homework. Study in depth all the methods. Don't go fast. That goes also with language learning. They have something in common, not everything. Don't go so fast. Don't move forward just for the hell of it. Record yourself. Sometimes okay, today I was practicing some study. What is the right word? Methods. Studies for the cloche. No, one is for clarinet adapted for saxophone. I'm playing on the flute, and I will try to play them on a recorder. And okay, I'm good. And then I practice with a metronome. I say no, I can't go as fast as it's written here. So this is what I can do today. I know if I insist and persist, I will be able to play better. So once you've done something, I noticed this with languages, you're more confident. I learned other instruments. I've been very good. I played in for records in the United States. I played the saxophone. Um, I was in several situations, not with a recorder, but where I was in front of an audience. It was my gig. Oh, I played in jam session. So we say in Italian scaffato. I don't know the right word in English. I've been places. Sorry if I speak off the top of my mind, but that's my life experience. Be confident, but your confidence must be the result, not because you're telling yourself in the American way, oh, everything is good. No, 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 no. You do what you gotta do. And sometimes there are days, believe you me, when I don't feel like playing the recorder, I don't feel like playing the trumpet, or but these are the days where you become good because everybody's able to play when he feels like it. Okay, but that the days when I trained for running, there are days when you don't want to go out. There are days when I don't want to study my Russian book or to read, and you have to do it. Unless it's a very bad day, you are sick, okay. But and there are other days that you would say, okay, I feel like it, I feel so happy, let's go for it, let's play, okay. But the reality is that some some things you try to read, oh god damn it, I was make the mistake at the same point, and you have to know to strike a balance between forging on or let it go. Sometimes, okay, this is difficult. How to can overcome this? I played for 20 minutes. I say no, that's enough. Otherwise, it becomes an obsession. I'll leave it for tomorrow. Okay, and then I'm practicing confirmation, and this is a part where it's apparent. So even on the flute, it's difficult. I'm not practicing on the recorder, and say okay, but our mind works, and maybe when you're reading you're not able, but if you practice the, the in the days to come you will see the results, not immediately. That's my life experience, because I practice a lot of instruments. Obviously every instrument is different. The way I practice the trumpet is completely different, because it's more physical. I do a lot of things for the lips and things like that I don't do for the recorder. The flute, when I started all over again, I resumed the flute. I had pain here, my muscle hurt. Now I can play for 4 hours only, and I say 4 hours back to back. At the end, yes, a little bit. At the beginning, even after 5 minutes, it was uncomfortable playing. So that's my. It's not 2 cents. I think $5 because I'm playing. I've been speaking for almost half an hour, but I had a lot of experience with practicing, getting good results, bad results, and everything. And unless you're very determined and confident, you will never succeed. That's the base, the bare minimum. You need to know what you gotta do, have the time to do it, the determination. You shouldn't be discouraged because nobody is a pure talent. I don't believe in talent anyway. Everything is no, 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 no. And results don't come immediately. Okay. So That's my. Sorry if I spoke a lot, but sometimes I feel that people don't understand what learning a musical instrument and playing music is all about. It's not for everybody. And sorry to say that, but you do. Some people say, "Ah, I want to be an amateur." That's perfectly right. I'm learning Russian. I'm not preparing myself to be a translator. I'm too old. But anyway, okay. But if you want to be good, ask yourself: do I have the time, the determination to do that? Am I ready to sacrifice time to watch a TV series on Netflix, and instead of doing that, I'm practicing my instrument? Okay, ask yourself. Some people have a bad job, and not everybody is ready to go home and practice the recorder. Some people, just because they like it so much, prefer the recorder than watching some stupid television or YouTube bullshit. But people who are good, they practice the right thing, the best. Started very young, they have very good teachers, they have good determination, and when you get results, you start to study in earnest, to practice in earnest. Okay, so you see, okay, I study, I get results, I see the connection, and then that's the moment you will start and practice more and more. And remember this: the more you practice, the more you realize you're not good. Sounds counterintuitive. The more you study, the more you discovered you need to study and practice. I use the word study. In English, you would say practice, but I'm speaking about all sorts of things. That's the fact. Some people don't know shit. They think they know a lot. So the more I practice the recorder, the more I see some other people who are very good. They have a fast staccato, double tongue, and think, oh, I cannot do that. Maybe one day. Goodbye.